Hey y'all, Rob here with ATX Legal, and today I'm going to talk just a little bit about some red flags that you might find when you are searching for an attorney. Number one, you got to look at their reviews. You're looking at reviews for the restaurants you go to, you got to do the same thing with your professional services, including attorneys. So go to their Google reviews, see how many reviews they have. Are they good? Are there any negative reviews? And crucially, I would say, is how are they responding to their reviews? I recently came across a criminal attorney who responded with a very, very lengthy response, basically throwing his client under the bus. There wasn't any confidential information in there, which would have been an ethical violation, but there was certainly information that I wouldn't want divulged about my case if I was a criminal client. I considered it a big red flag, not that there was a single negative review, that can kind of be expected, but the way he responded to that review was a big red flag to me. I wouldn't recommend anyone hire this attorney based on his attitudes towards his client. If anybody Googles that person's name, that review might pop up and it might alert them to the fact that there was a criminal case. And as the criminal attorney, you're supposed to be advocating for them. You shouldn't put that stuff out on the internet, even if they're talking negatively about you. Like I said, a single negative review might not be a bad thing. And if they respond with that in a way that seems kind of vague, saying things like, I'm not really at liberty to discuss that, that's actually the professional way to answer that. So that's not a red flag. Now, if there are a number of bad reviews, that could be a pattern and that could be a bad thing. But simply coming out and saying, look, I'm not allowed to discuss this, I vaguely disagree with what this client said, that's actually the response that the Texas Bar recommends that attorneys make, and I think that's really the best way to respond to a negative review. 2, check out their state bar page. Every attorney has one. I'll link to the Texas Bar website in the description. But that'll give you 2 pieces of information. 1, how long has the attorney been practicing? And 2, are there any disciplinary violations? Disciplinary violation is a big red flag, but if they've been practicing only a couple years, not necessarily. If they have a support staff, if they have a mentor that they can go to, just ask the attorney about that. Let them know, hey, I see you've only been practicing a couple years. What if you come across something you've never seen before? Is there somebody you can talk to? Most of the time, any attorney that is practicing out there for a couple years has someone they can talk to, they have a mentor, or they're working with a team of lawyers, and that's not necessarily a red flag. But if they're evasive, if they don't want to tell you how long they've been practicing, even though you've already looked it up and you know, that could be a red flag. You don't want to necessarily go with an attorney that's only been practicing a year or 2. I'm the only attorney I know that was actually fully ready to practice right out of law school. Don't know anyone else. I'm the only one. I'm going to take that out.
I'm cutting that.
Lastly, and I've talked about this one before if you see my other videos, but you're definitely going to want to pay attention to their caseload. If they have 100, 150 clients, that can be excessive. Unless they have 2 or 3 attorneys, perhaps they share those duties. That can be okay. But in general, the more cases they have, if you're getting over 50, 60, 70 cases, you're going to want to at least bring this up with the attorney and ask how they manage that caseload. If it's just one attorney handling all 70, 80 cases or whatever the number might be, that could be a bit of a red flag that maybe you can just find someone else who is going to be able to give a little more attention to your case. You know, the main thing to know when looking for an attorney is just take care. Make sure to call 2 or 3 people. This is an important decision, so you're going to want to get a couple different frames of reference before you pick an attorney that you're going to go with. If you do that and you go with your gut, you're going to be okay. Of course, none of this has been legal advice. If you would like legal advice on your specific case, visit us at atx.legal. All the links I talked about will be in the description below. Look forward to hearing from you about your case.